Howdy freeze dryers, thanks for joining me today. Today is a very special moment for me because I just got my author's proof of a book that I've been working on and off again for about 5 years, and it's the book that I always wanted to write because it's the book that I needed when I started freeze drying. And that book is the Freeze Drying Handbook, Everything You Need to Know and a little more. This book is more or less my freeze drying brain over the last 5 years, put down on about 170 pages and 15 freeze dryer chapters. And it really covers all types of topics for beginners all the way to expert freeze dryers. It's basically everything you need to know from the beginning, all the way from purchasing your freeze dryer, trying to help you to decide which size freeze dryer, what type of accessories you need, what type of things you need to help set up your workspace, deciding on which types of pumps, the pros and cons of every pump's available, the history of pumps, even the pumps that used to be available if you're buying a pre-owned freeze dryer, all the way to the new available pumps that are available now. It also covers all of the benefits of freeze drying and why you should freeze dry if you're still sitting on the fence trying to decide whether or not you want to purchase a freeze dryer. This will also take you step by step for your first load. It will help you get familiar with the freeze dryer. There's pictures of all of the screens that will just guide you through an entire freeze drying process. And this is really going to help you just overcome that fear of newbie paralysis that you first have when you get a freeze dryer. It's going to help you once you've ordered the freeze dryer, what to expect with delivery, what to expect once you get your freeze dryer. It's also going to help you get prepared for the delivery of the freeze dryer by setting up your workspace, what types of accessories you might want, tables and extra items that will just help you further on down the road of freeze drying. It's also going to help you figure out how long it's going to take you to make your money back after making such a big investment in a freeze dryer. It'll help you with a couple tips on how to speed that process up. This book's going to help you with the setup of your freeze dryer, which was a huge one for me when I first purchased my freeze dryer, as it is for most people that purchase their freeze dryers. Pictures and descriptions of what comes in the box, how to use all the products that come with the freeze dryer, and get you comfortable with the freeze dryer itself. I've also done an entire section on food storage, and that includes Mylar and what to expect with Mylar, how to pick a good quality Mylar, as well as oxygen absorbers, giving you a quick education in a Mylar 101 and oxygen absorber 101 class. So in food storage, we're going to cover oxygen absorbers, we're going to cover Mylar, but we're also going to show you how to extend and keep your freeze-dried food stored for as long as possible. We're also going to cover several ways to keep your food storage organized like this. And then once you're comfortable with the freeze dryer, we kind of move into more intermediate, where we're going to cover freeze dryer maintenance. We're going to cover pump maintenance. We're going to show you how to keep your freeze dryer clean. We're going to show you how to filter your oil, how to change your oil. We're going to show you how to take apart your vacuum pump if you ever need to do that. We'll show you how to take apart the freeze dryer itself, show you all the internals and the parts and pieces, what everything does, how to troubleshoot if you ever need to do that, and how to keep your freeze dryer running top notch. Chapter 13 goes over rehydration. It's going to show you some tools that you can use to help out with the rehydration process, also some tips and tricks, and some rehydration conversions. Chapter 14 is going to go over tips, tricks, and hacks, the 14 most important things that I have learned throughout my thousands of cycles in freeze drying. It's also going to show you some substitutions you can use to make freeze dryer friendly recipes, and we will cover the do's and don'ts of foods for freeze drying, which ones you should, which ones you shouldn't. My hope is that this book can give you all the information that you need for freeze drying, the information that I needed when I started freeze drying over 5 years ago, as well as throughout my whole journey throughout that 5 years of freeze drying. It'll help you not make the same mistakes, avoid the big learning curve of freeze drying that I had to go through and many other people have had to go through. And I hope this book will get all of your questions that you have about freeze drying answered, no matter what skill level you are. As always, feel free to reach out to me with suggestions or comments. In the meantime, remember to live life simple, and we'll catch you next week.